Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
How's it going, guys? So today's video is going to be a bit of a different one here, and it's not really a count or anything, just chatting about kind of well, I don't want to copy Warrior because this is not an in-depth thing like his pillar system, but this is just kind of like a brief explanation of stuff you can farm and a nice little guide for newer players. This isn't really tailored towards endgame players like myself. This is really just for these newer players, and it kind of just goes to show you the power creep and how crazy this game has become to be here. So let's just show this really fast. Let me get up on screen here for you guys. This is the little chart, or the not really chart, just like an infographic, I guess you could say. So we have a little nice dandy thing we're gonna go check out here. It's a little bit zoomed in for you guys. Okay, so where do we even start, man? I mean, there's just so much to really look into. The reason why I don't really want to copy this from Warrior, because Warrior goes in depth with like the progression throughout all this and at certain levels when you can farm these things. I'm not really going to go in depth here because that's for me going to take a long time, and I feel like I would be just copying Warrior. I mean, there probably is room and a spot for like an updated version now with like all this GS stuff. But if I was to really go and do one of these things, I kind of want to wait until like the next movie and the next big stuff we get, and then probably do one, and then kind of maybe an updated kind of guide or whatever you want to call it. But this is a pretty in-depth one, I would say, so far. It shows pretty much everything you want to see here. So let's just go over some of these things and what they mean. Okay, so let's go over what these different colors mean here. So the green is the 5-star to unlock, 7-star to max. This is for like legendary events. This isn't for GS. You're gonna need 7 stars for GS and stuff like that, and the GP, as you can see here in the red. But this is pretty much just like getting 3PO unlocked and the different stars of him, like 5, 6, 7, so stuff like that. And like you got 3PO for the Ewoks, you got Chewie down here for and the bounty hunters, and then you got Jedi for GMY, and even up here like Phoenix for Thrawn and all that stuff. So that's the green, and then 7. Or the orange-ish, yellowish is 7-star required to unlock, so we're talking about like a CLS here, both Revans and JTR. Those are more like journeys, so those are journeys, the greens are legendaries, and then the reds are epic confrontations. You need for these, you need not only 7-star, but you need a lot of extra GP and most likely Gear 13s for to beat these, you know. Not really so much on the Revans, but a huge emphasis on some Gear 13s for now General Skywalker. And this is pretty much like a perfect chart for really anybody who wants to start off playing this game. I mean, we can zoom in really fast here. So it says here really any Ewok, any Phoenix, any Empire, any Separatists, any First Order, any for these things here. And this is where the newer players will kind of have a little bit more room to kind of figure out and what they want to use. There is, you know, for almost every single one of these green ones, and when it says any, there's always a 5 that you really want to prefer to use almost every single time. I could do a whole video on like all those, and I'm sure if you guys really want to and you're a newer player, feel free to just type in on YouTube these different events and what the best way to go about it is. So that's a nice thing about these green ones and these legendaries, is that you don't have to have specific required tunes. But when we come down to these 7-star, the journey characters, they require specific characters. So first one is the CLS. CLS you needed to have. Or you need to have, really. This has been a while since I did any of this stuff and looking at it. So you're going to need R2, Old Ben, Leia, Stormtrooper Han, and Farm Boy Luke. And this will get you CLS. But guys, to preface really anything from here going on out, on any of these guys you want to work on, do not put max gear levels. Don't do max effort here. As much as that kind of is weird to say, don't do it. You want to go with the minimum for each of these events, so that for these other big teams like a GS, like these Revans down here, and even these CLS teams and Padme, these really top tier teams, you want to save their gear for or later on if you guys want to go about this game free to play. It's going to be hard to do that, but it is doable. It's going to take you a lot of time and really hoarding and all that stuff. But really, for any of these events, whether you're a free to play player, Mega Whale, Kraken, whatever you want to call it, I would not go all in on all these events. I would go for minimum stuff. Even for this newer GS event, I would go minimum stuff here. So we're going on down here with the journeys. You got the JKR and the DR. You're going to need Zabar Mission, Jolie, Bastil, and T3. Probably, like I said, you're not going to want to run T3 here. And also Jahani here. Because for these Revens, you only need 4 plus your JKR or DR. So that's going to be 5 for a team. You don't want to run, for the light side, you don't want to run T3. And for the dark side, you do not want to run Jahani. So those are the Revens. And then down here, you got JTR, and this one, if there's any of these guys and any of these events that you could possibly skip on for newer players, this one right here, the JTR team, guys, it's very outdated, and with new resistance coming, it's going to be replaced one way or another. And if it doesn't, they're going to get old reworks, or they're going to get these older tunes getting reworked. Maybe it could be, somewhat useful again, but as of right now, there's not a whole lot of uses and not a whole lot of good things coming out of this team. So if you guys want to skip out on any team here and go for something else like a JK or a DR, this is the team here. You don't need JTR to do anything for yourself in the arenas, GAC, TWs. It is a very solid C to B tier team. They don't do much. They're average. So I would not recommend getting all these guys up if you are a newer player. Okay, so that is all the way up until now. We're going on to the Epic Confrontation. So for these ones, these are the Darth Malicks and the GSs, General Skywalkers. These guys are no jokes to get. And this is interesting because the big huge jump and leap in power creep from when Malick was introduced to now when GS was introduced, General Skywalker, there is such a massive need now for relics and Gear 13s from any future Epic Confrontation event that is kind of ridiculous, and it's either you have them ready to go and you're farming and hoarding non-stop, or you're going to be extremely behind, and this is where CG makes their money on Epic Confrontations. So for Malick, it's kind of the same thing with JKR. If you pretty much have any of these guys built up from the JKR, you should be perfectly fine for this. The only difference is that you're going to need them at 17,500 power. I could be wrong there. I could be around the 16,500 mark. Just shoot for Gear 12, and if you get Gear 12 on these guys, that should be good. But if you don't want to put Gear 12 on everybody, you can get some Gear 11s and toss on some Zetas to hit that mark. So pretty much on either of these Revens, as long as you get these guys built up for the Revens, you should be good, as long as you still remain in having those good gear and the good enough GP for the Malick. So that's Malick. It's not that hard of an event, honestly. If you guys have looked at my guides, or if you guys have to look at anybody's guides, it's not that bad. It just takes a lot of time and effort, but once you get it down, it's not that bad. So for the Epic Confrontation of GS, this is the newest one we've had here. This one is 100% by far the worst one so far. This one is so extremely difficult that I wouldn't even budget. I wouldn't even try going for it unless everything is 7-star on this list. For one, you have to have 7-star to even have a shot at it, but I wouldn't even try it unless you have at least 3 Gear 13s to from Gear 13 Relic level 1s all the way up to Relic 5 on. There's 3 of them, right? There's going to be GK, and then B1, and Asajj. If you guys don't have those 3 main ones, I really wouldn't try this event. It's going to take, I haven't heard anybody yet, I haven't seen anybody yet that has beat it without at least those Gear 13s. Those are by far the most important Gear 13s in even unlocking this guy. For the ship one, the only one you really need is Anakin, but if you guys are just building up a Padme team, he should be already available and easily accessible for you guys. So I think that rounds it up here for my little run through of all this stuff. And like I said, if there's anything you guys really want to take away if you're a newer player, don't worry about this team down here. And also, don't do the max effort here, do the minimum, even for this GS event, guys. Just go for those 3 Gear 13s that I mentioned, GK, B1, and Asajj, and then try to get Gear 12 on anybody. Hit that threshold of 17,500. Once you get that, you should be fine for GS. It's going to take you a lot of RNG and a lot of battles and time, but you will get it sooner than later. Everybody else here, you just need some specific ones for the legendaries, for the epic, or for not the epic, for the Yeah. For the legendary, you don't need that specific characters. They're not required, but for the hero's journey, you do, and on from there you do. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Nothing crazy, I know, but I thought this would be a good time for me to put this out. My content on my channel, I would like it for it to be a lot of emphasis and big emphasis on counters, but I also want to help out some newer players as well. And if there's anybody that's newer players out there that is watching my channel, let me know if there's anything that you guys want me to do or to really hit up on for you guys, whether it be like another counter to a different team or really anything. I could put together some guides for you guys out there that are newer. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it around, and if you are new here, feel free to sub. We do have a Discord and a Patreon if you guys want to go check out those two things. Those are in the description link below. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.